Welcome to LSB Feaster's Radio Aircheck and Classic TV channel.
People have to be prepared at all times. Everybody just needs to keep their radio tuned.
Hurricane coverage resumes on 92.5 WPAP, 94.5 WFLA, 96 Rock, Sunny 98.5, and 99.3 The Beat.
Welcome back. It is 11:04, 4 minutes after the hour. I want to turn it over to the Bay County Emergency Operations Center. The latest briefing from Chief Mark Bowen that is already underway. Let's join this press conference here. I see Congressman Neil Dunn and several others behind the podium. Let's turn that over here.
Roads as well right now due to the unsafe conditions. They are sheltering at predetermined areas such as fire departments, and they'll be remaining there.
That is Ruth Corley from the Bay County Sheriff's Office talking right now.
It's impossible to say how long that will be, but we want to ask for your patience. We're doing the best we can. It's very frustrating for us as first responders not to be able to answer those calls for service when they come in. But as soon as conditions improve, we will be responding. We will be coming. It may be more difficult. It may take us longer. There'll be debris. There'll be probably standing water. We want you to know that we have staged vehicles that can handle those circumstances a little better throughout the county. So we'll be able to use those to come in and to help you. Just be patient as we do make the utmost effort to keep you safe and to get to you when you need us. Another thing, I know we're getting lots and lots of questions about re-entry. I can't say much more than Chief Bowen did. He did a great job. Just again, I want to reiterate, be patient. We're going to do a damage assessment as soon as we possibly can, and as soon as it is safe. For those of you who have evacuated, we will be letting you in, but we have to make sure it's safe. You don't want to return.
Okay, we have...
Okay, it looks like we have lost our feed from the Bay County Emergency Operations Center. If we get that back in the next few minutes...
That's WJHT losing their feed from the EOC, and it's likely that...
Ryan, I do also want to let you...
They will lose our feed as well. Tess, if you would take over from here, please.
Well, the Category 4 Hurricane Michael getting even closer to the coast. The eye wall contains the strongest winds, which is 24 miles away right now with sustained winds. We keep bouncing between 145 and 150 at this number as it still remains. They have not called it a Category 5 yet. I don't think that matters at this point. What we're looking at is catastrophic wind, rain, and that storm surge.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that we're looking at right now. We're just looking at that wind and the storm surge, and we're telling everybody, stay safe. We're getting video of, looks like Tess is looking at Tyndall Air Force Base. It was some video that came in.
Yeah, that's on Choctahatchee. Can you help me?
Choctahatchee Bay?
Thank you. Yeah, Choctahatchee Bay. It's coming up on this little dock little boat dock. And hitting this boat like
and also
car.
Brett showed us, and you showed us a picture of the beach of a structure coming down out there on Panama City Beach.
Yeah, it was it looked like a structure that they were building, like a second-story structure that they were in the middle of building, and it didn't have a whole lot to it, but it just came down. And this was from a Twitter feed of Panama City Beach. I'm not sure exactly where, so it's scary out there now, y'all.
Okay, I hope and pray that you have your ice and your supplies and everything that we have asked you to get for the last 2 days to prepare for this storm. If you would, let me ask everybody to go to the Dr. Shane page on Facebook. If you have Facebook while you still have power, you're listening. I just stepped outside of our iHeartRadio studios, and I just shot live footage. And you'll see just a little bit of the weather conditions that's going on right here in Panama City. Now, keep in mind, Lisenby Avenue in Panama City runs in between 15th Street and 23rd Street, if you don't know where our stations are located. So that's where we are. We are in the city of Panama City. Our station is not located on Panama City Beach. So it's the physical address is 1834 Lisenby Avenue. And I just literally stepped outside, and Jake was kind enough to hold the camera. I went Facebook Live, and you can see some of the weather conditions that is starting right here at our studios. Now, that is Dr. Shane. Dr. Shane, just hit like, watch that video. At the same time, let's take it back to WJHG. I think Tyler is now in, and we'll see if we can get an update on just how close this thing is to making landfall and if it has gained any strength whatsoever. Stand by. Let's bring him up here.
It's that outer band that's going to be working its way up onto the coast, packing the biggest winds here with this system. So once that starts to work its way on towards the coastline, things are really, really going to get devastating. Okay, it sounds like the EOC might be back up, so we're going to go rejoin.
That's the
We're
emergency.
going to head over to Chris over at the reporting station.
Okay, Chris Smith.
Hey, thanks a lot, Ryan. Yeah, this is some video that just came in on Twitter. This is on Panama City Beach. I'm going to go ahead and let me make this full screen. And
he's going to play video, and I'll describe it for you because you can't see it. You're listening to me on the radio.
This is a building here, a house that's under construction. And you can see there it's collapsed. And the water undermining all these houses right here. That's the condo building. I'm not sure which one this is. It looks like maybe it's on the east end of Panama City Beach, but obviously the water continuing to run up along the dune line. We had that one house
collapse
right there near the condo building. But that was some video that we just got in on Twitter just a few moments ago.
That is new construction on the east end of Panama City Beach, where a home there under construction has collapsed.
Just incredible. And we're still a good hour away from some of the worst of the weather as it continues to move towards the coastline. The Gulf of Mexico, as we were talking about earlier, is up about 4 feet on Panama City Beach, and it could get as high as 6 to 9 feet on Panama City Beach. So we still have several more feet. We're going to continue to see conditions deteriorate there. As you look at the very latest with the radar imagery with the center, we've been looking at over here into the eye wall. Now, keep in mind, this is at an elevated position because the radar site is located over in Red Bay, but I've been sampling some winds over on the side of the storm in excess. You see there's 130, 140 miles per hour. Over on the eastern side, just a little while ago, over on this side, I was able to sample some winds of 170 miles per hour over on this eastern side of the storm.
Wow.
But again, that was at several thousand feet above the ground,
right.
Which is what they do is that's above the ground, and then the sustained winds are measured at the surface. So you can see. Let's see. What just?
The transmitter. I think he just crashed outside.
Transmitter?
Getting ready to move to the newsroom.
Okay.
Okay, they've just had the transmitter
We're still
collapse
on air.
at JHG.
I think we lost, I think, a tower out back.
All right, so they are
moving probably to a different place here shortly.
They're actually going to move the employees of the TV station
Again, as you look here,
into a different part.
Here,
If you would go ahead, Big Boy, and confirm and tell Charlie, our chief engineer Charlie Wooten, that tower has fallen at WJHG.
Incredible wind that's gonna be moving
in the
on.
back. I'm sorry.
We have our own tower out back here
We
as
do.
well that
Now,
goes
right
up pretty
now-
high.
Well, we do.
gonna move in somewhere.
I just want to know. I just want to make sure Chief Engineer Charlie Wooten knows that WJHG's they just had a tower fall. So
Yeah.
and they're moving employees within the building there.
Where the center of circulation is. We're continuing to see a lot of lightning associated right around the eye. That's another indication of intensification. And as we talked about just a little while ago, the storm had continued to increase up to now 150 miles per hour, and the pressure was dropping down into the low 920s. I think 923 was the official pressure.
I'm getting reports now that windows are being blown out of the Sunbird condo on Panama City Beach, and also roof damage at Pineapple Willie's. That is unconfirmed, but that is the report that I have. Also, no power in the city of Fountain. That is coming in right now at 11:13 Central Time, 13 minutes after the hour.
And I still can't believe that in less than 24 hours, this went from basically a Category 2 storm that we weren't that worried about to almost a Category 5.
Well, the pressure continues to drop. It's just it is one of the most historical storms that I've ever covered in my career, and we continue to watch this devastation. Back to Chris Smith at Channel 7 while he's still on the air, and God bless them. They're actually having to move their employees after having a tower collapse in the back of the studio here. Hang on.
Yeah, that's a good 30 miles away. We're about 30 miles or so away from the eye. Now, as far as from some of the worst of the weather, up into this area here, we're about 18 miles away here at the TV station. So once you start getting into this, and this is going to move on shore, and it's going to move on shore into Panama City, Callaway, Lynn Haven, over towards Springfield, that's where we're going to see, that's where you have the best chance of seeing the sustained winds as high as 150 miles per hour. You're going to see gusts that are possible even higher than that. We'll obviously keep a close eye on the wind speed sensor over there at Tyndall Air Force Base. There's a weather station right there. There's another one over at the drone runway right there. So we'll want to keep an eye on both of those weather stations, guys, as to what we end up seeing with the sustained winds and the gusts, because, again, the eye itself is going to pass right through this area. Right through the center, as you look at the visible satellite imagery that we've been looking at. Okay, that was... let's see, getting some information. Fence around. Okay, earlier when I was showing y'all some video, and this was back over some video from Sam. This is at Tidewater. I was wondering which one that was. This is at Tidewater Resort. So this is more on the west end of Panama City Beach. The fence is now being pulled away as the water continues to rush up along the condo tower. So that was over on the west end of Panama City Beach. I know that was I had asked the question to make sure which condo tower that was.
I want to
bring back
to jump in here.
So
they were talking about a tower or a structure falling behind WJHG News Channel 7, moving employees inside of the TV station. You're listening to Chris Smith, who is at the television station. We're carrying his feed because we're media partners with iHeart. That is not the broadcast tower that we're talking about, or they wouldn't still be on the air. I would just talk to Chief Engineer Charlie Wooten, and it may have been a cell phone tower or a different type of tower or structure that fell behind their studio, but it's not their broadcast tower. And thank goodness nobody is hurt that we know of right now. So let's continue that coverage with JHG. Back to the weather discussion. Do you have something to add?
No, I'll tell you while we're listening to the feed.
Okay.
Heavy rainfall, but we'll continue to watch this as it moves up over places like Calhoun County and eastern parts of Jackson County. So a lot of folks are going to get a lot of bad weather as this storm moves inland. And places that are inland locations that you think of hurricanes as a coastal event, it's going to be a big deal for you as well, as you're going to see at least the possibility of winds of over 100 miles an hour anywhere that eye travels. As it continues to slowly wind down, you're still going to have the possibility of 100-mile-per-hour winds right along that eye wall as it moves up into Gulf County, Franklin, Calhoun County, and over into Jackson County. We can do a little bit more sampling here. This is from the Eglin radar, and you're seeing 150, 160 miles per hour with some of the winds as the eye continues to move up. And then over on the western side of the storm, again, very similar. Basically, winds are, looking at it. And again, this is a couple thousand feet above the ground at about 120 to 130 miles per hour, giving you an idea of the intensity of the winds that are going to be on as that eye wall continues to make its way towards the coastline. Now, Ryan, what do you have for us?
Well, Chris, that eye is getting dangerously close here. We're looking at sustained winds right now. Apalachicola, sustained wind of 58 miles per hour. We're over tropical storm force winds at both Tyndall and even over towards Panama City. What we'll be looking for, folks, here across the eye wall is what Chris was talking about. It's this outer band that we'll be watching make its way up on towards the coast here as we head into the next, say, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We're going to start to see some of the strongest winds with this system basically moving right up in between Panama City and Tyndall here. That outer band is the eye wall of a strong Category 4 hurricane that contains, well, roughly 150 mile an hour winds. But like Chris said, in some of those bands and a little bit above the surface, granted, where the radar station is, you can see that vein coming out. It was sampling winds in the system, and he said at about 170 miles per hour at times. You take a different look at the eye wall, you might have heard of the stadium effect with this system. Also, when Chris was talking about the pressure drops and how it basically works is when the planes fly through the system, they sample this outer wall, the pressure in those thunderstorms way down. But then we cross over the eye wall, and you notice into the eye of the hurricane, relatively no clouds whatsoever. But these rain shafts are going up to about 30,000 feet, 45,000 feet cloud tops. You put that into perspective, and that's where some of our big-time jets are flying, all the way up at that level. So we have got some big-time clouds rolling in with that band. Another perspective of this leading edge of the hurricane, Category 4 Michael, is a 3D look at that band rolling its way up on towards the coast. Panama City located right here. Tyndall would be right on the back side of that. You can just see the stacked up nature of that eye wall with these very potent bands that are right around the eye wall about to work their way up on towards the coastline. Gusts right now over hurricane strength down towards Apalachicola at 79 miles per hour. 66 mile per hour winds, gusts that is, in Tyndall. And we're just now starting to see some of those roll their way up to near 50 mile per hour gusts in Panama City. And that storm system is, again, still a bit further off the coastline, so we're certainly going to be talking about the potential for power outages as this works its way on. I know I've got my security camera back at home, and that went out. So I'm guaranteed that my power in my neighborhood is probably out here at this point, and I'm hoping that, well, at least the structure of my home kind of stays in place here, because certainly when we talk about 150 mile per hour winds rolling their way up onto the coastline like Chris showed you with that video, it's going to cause some structural damages.
Yes, it is. I have roof damage being reported already at Pineapple Willie's on Panama City Beach. Also, there was, let me bring this up. Looks like windows are being blown out at the Sunbird condominiums there. Have reports on Deer Point Lake, the east side of Deer Point Lake. And I want to thank Ronnie and Jane Groom. Thank you. You precious, precious people. Thank you so much for this. But power is out on the east side of Deer Point Lake. My friends with Billbird Kia, Johnny Gunnels, actually lives right behind my house at Deer Point Lake in Kirkland Manor, says power is out there as well. So that's the Southport area. 769-1400, 769-1400 to get on the air with us. Talk to us. Tell us if you have power. Tell us what you're experiencing. If you have down power lines, if you have tree damage. You are my eyes. You are my ears. You are my source of information. I take what you tell me and I broadcast it to the public so the public knows what's going on where you are and where the storm may be headed. I wish I could take a microphone outside, and at one point I may do so, but the wind is howling through our tower in the back of the station. Do you hear the hum in the
I do. It's very disconcerting.
It is. You've never been through this.
I have never been through a hurricane.
And I promise you, it will be okay.
It'll be fine.
But the sound is very disturbing for a broadcaster that has to sit here. But the winds, unfortunately, will only increase. 22 minutes after the hour. Let's go to the phones live. Shane and Tess, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Lee. I'm on South Thomas Drive. I was just on there. I was trying to call you and let you guys know. I got off the road when I heard what you recommended to the other lady. Anyways, as far as the surges go, where I'm at, my complex, the base level is 10 foot above sea level, and about 40 minutes ago, it was already coming over that.
No, where is that exactly?
The Dunes of Panama, on Thomas Drive.
Dunes of Panama, got it.
Yes, sir. And then, as I was driving down there, right by Sunsweep, right before I got there, a transformer flew out.
Transformers are blowing, yeah. I'm getting reports of that all over Bay County. Now, are you on the road for a reason, or you back at home now?
Well, I just pulled back into the parking garage, but I was going up and down Thomas Drive to see if there was anyone that needed any kind of shelter. But it's getting a little too rough now, so I came back in.
Good idea. And you stay in and keep us informed if you learn anything else, okay? Follow us here on the iHeartRadio app or on terrestrial radio. Just listen on a battery-powered radio. But most of all, stay safe, my friend. Thank you for the update.
We do have some updates from that Bay County, Florida Emergency Management press conference and meeting that they had. Chief Bowen says, because they do traffic counts on the people that evacuated, the traffic counts and other data points that a lot of people did not evacuate. And he's afraid that given the strength of the storm, these people are going to be hurt or killed. The tides are higher than normal, and there's some other factors that led to this being such a destructive storm so quickly.
If you are listening on the iHeartRadio app, let me tell you what we were dealing with the Emergency Operations Center yesterday. It was so serious that Mark Bowen, the director of the Emergency Operations Center, along with Congressman Neil Dunn, Bay County Commissioner Guy Tennell, they all stood there. Bay County Sheriff Tommy Ford, they stood there shoulder to shoulder. And it had also been reported and broadcast. If you are going to stay on Panama City Beach after a mandatory evacuation, you have been told and told and told to leave, but you chose to stay on Panama City Beach, take a Sharpie, write your name, your social security number, and your next of kin on your arm. That got some people's attention, and some people did leave. But unfortunately, we have a lot of people that didn't.
And just so you know, all first responders are off the roads now. They are hunkered down themselves, and they will not go back out until it's safe for them to respond to emergency calls. So
right, they will not come get you guys, so please stay off the road.
That's just how serious these conditions are right now. 11:25 is the local central time. Let me go to the phones live real quick. You are live, team coverage of iHeart. Hello.
Hello, this is Celeste calling again from the Enclave Apartments. Just wanted to let you know that power is now out at Harrison and Baldwin.
Harrison and Baldwin. Thank you, Celeste. That means so much. I appreciate those types of calls. Tell me who you are, where you're calling from, and then the information you have to pass along to us. Thank you all so much. We love you. Go ahead. You're live.
Hey, Dr. Shane. David Ventitas. I'm a first responder for the city of Lynn Haven.
Thank you, David. I appreciate you calling in. What's going on, pal?
We live in Pretty Bayou, and we're about a block and a half off the water. We got some flooding going on in our yard, but it's not that bad as of yet. The winds have really started to pick up and rotate. We got the generator going because we've been out of power since like 5 o'clock this morning. And Gulf Power isn't saying, that we should even be in an outage right now. So we reported it to them, and we just wanted to check and see where we are time frame wise on landfall.
It shouldn't be long at all. I can pull Chris Smith back up. As a matter of fact, thank you, buddy. God bless you, man. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and turn it back over. Let me check in back in with Chris Smith. Let's take it back to WJHG and cover this forecast and see if we can get an update here.
Way through the eye of a Category 4 hurricane. And unfortunately, we're going to get a lot of folks that are going to see what that view looks like from the ground as this thing makes landfall. Category 4 hurricane, strongest hurricane to ever hit here in Northwest Florida. Ron, what do you have for us?
Well, we're looking at that eye wall and that outer band as it gets dangerously close here. If we can zoom in to Bay County and get right up on towards the coastline there with that outer band, because that is the band that we are going to see at least the most detrimental winds from this system. So right up on towards the coastline, you start to notice a little bit of that outer band of the eye wall itself starting to clip onto portions of the coastline. Now remember, we wouldn't have necessary landfall until the center of the circulation, so the center of the eye works up on towards the coast. But that center is about 23 miles away, and just those outer bands are right up on towards the coastline here, if not just a matter of a few miles here before we start to feel the real effects of a Category 4, a very strong Category 4 system that contains about 150 mile per hour winds in this inner band here. And folks, the closer you get to that inner eye wall part of the band, the stronger it's going to be. We still have effects of very strong tropical storm force and hurricane force winds associated with this band that stretches from the north side of Panama City and all the way down towards the southeast, coming through Weewah right now with some pretty strong gusts. It's going to be windy. It's going to be noisy outside, just like it is down here towards Panama City here at this point, folks. You look at the sustained winds with this system, and while I'm only reporting 36, I can guarantee you that the gusts are much higher than that outside here right now. 54-mile-per-hour sustained winds in that band that stretches from Panama City over towards Apalachicola. But once we see this inner band, the eye wall, work its way up onto the coastline, it'd be surprising if maybe even that report there, 36-mile-per-hour winds up at the airport, even hangs on. So they've gone ahead and issued an extreme wind warning. This is a very rare thing to ever see get issued. They just started with these back in 2005 after that hurricane season, and they only issued them for things like hurricanes, basically, because everything else, a severe thunderstorm, maybe a derecho could get up there, but they said that they don't issue for derechos, for downsloping winds off a mountain. They don't issue for anything, not even for a tornado would they issue an extreme wind warning. That's just how rare this is, and it does cover the Bay County coastline all the way around portions of the Gulf County coastline, stretching down to Franklin County and into St. George Island. What it takes to get to that, sustained winds over 111 miles per hour an hour before it actually happens. And that's where we are. We're within that window, and this got issued not too long ago. And it looks like it'll last until 2:15 Eastern time or 1 o'clock Central there for a lot of us folks outside of Gulf County. Now, the eye itself is working its way on a north-northeasterly track, so we are dangerously close to getting that outer band to push on towards the Bay County coastline, where we will see some of the strongest features with this system, folks. It is certainly going to be packing a big-time punch as it does roll its way on towards the coast. It's a scary looking thing, folks, and it's not something that you need to go venturing outside in. Even if you fall under the path of this eye when it works its way over, you saw what Chris showed us, how that video of just basically calm skies in the middle of these things. It's tempting. But here's the problem. You go outside, say it picks up speed, and you're not anticipating, or it wobbles left to right. And you think it's quiet outside, you think it's safe, and then all of a sudden you get a wobble, and all of a sudden the 150-mile-per-hour winds associated with this outer band just wallops your house. You do not want to be outside when something like that happens. So while it could be tempting to get out there into the center of a Cat 5 hurricane, you're taking your life into your own hands at that point. So just keep that in mind. This is a very dangerous storm system. Everybody, we just got to stay hunkered down as it slowly meanders its way up on towards the coast here. So, folks, that outer band containing the big-time winds, and we're dangerously close to seeing some of those deeper reds on radar that contain some of the strongest winds. And still look at the lightning that's associated with it. This storm hasn't weakened once. Once it was created in the Western Caribbean, worked its way up into Gulf waters that are extremely warm, less shear, perfect environment for it to grow, to continue to grow. And that's what we've seen from day one with this system. Not once did it actually weaken, but it grew the whole time. And this is an unbelievable event here for the Panhandle, an unprecedented event. Never has a Category 4 hurricane made landfall in the Panhandle. So every other storm that we've named, I know Nisa walked in and said, I'm getting flashbacks of Opal. This is way worse than Opal, folks. When this works its way through, we're talking utter devastation in portions of Bay County, not only just Bay County, Gulf County as well. And then when it moves further northeast, maybe out of Bay County on into Calhoun counties, and we start to see some effects up towards Washington County in a couple hours, and then off towards portions of Jackson County, we're still going to have hurricane force winds, strong hurricane force winds, maybe Cat 2, Cat 3 worthy, hanging on into some of our counties as this tries to roll its way up to 31. So, folks, while this band works its way up on towards the coastline here, this is the time we hunker down, we get to the middle of our homes, we get to the middle of our places, and we stay there until we give the all clear that this has passed by. And for a little more information on the storm system, let's head over to Donna and Jessica in the newsroom.
All right. Thank you so much, Ryan. We are right now in the WJHG newsroom. We actually moved in here for safety reasons. This is the older part of our building. You know how they say older things are created a little stronger?
Right.
When we were renovating this building, we saw the concrete poured beams that go all the way across, and we've always been told this building was made to be sort of like a bunker. Unfortunately, the studio where our weather center is not. That's a newer portion, so when it's not safe for the weather team, we're going to have to pull them in here as well. Frankly, that sound was getting pretty terrifying, and we wanted to get out of that particular area, go ahead and set up a studio here. I believe we're working on getting some live pictures for you of just outside of our studios here in Panama City Beach.
We can already see a lot of debris. The wind is picking up. We're looking at it now. Yes, we are actually seeing signs from down the street coming into our parking lot.
Right. We are seeing debris flying. The trees are literally, they almost don't look like they're moving when they're almost stuck in a bent position. Getting some pretty horrific gusts as well. Now, we're close to windows. We tell you not to be close to windows. So if it gets to that intensity point, we are going into the interior of our building. We will continue, if we have to just talk from the interior of our building, we'll keep going live as long as we can to keep giving you information. But what you're looking at right now is looking right out into our parking lot. Our studio is right here on Front Beach Road of Panama City Beach. We're actually in floodplain C, a higher point of the beach, if there is such a thing right now. But we're going to continue to see these conditions deteriorate.
You and us two here at iHeart. That's Donna Bell, along with Jessica Foster right now. Local time here in Panama City is 11:35. Just stepping outside and looking at the weather conditions right here at the iHeart building, right across the street, the cemetery from our radio station. There's a cemetery just directly across the road. There are trees that are snapped in half and twisted in half here at our iHeart studios. So I can only imagine what is happening to persons and residents and our friends and families that live to the east of us, where we're located on Lisenby Avenue, down 15th Street and into down toward Billboard Kia, then on into across Tyndall Bridge, Callaway. You're on our hearts. 769-1400. We're going to take a short break, and just like Channel 7 has, my goodness, bless their heart, their parking lot now, there are street signs in their parking lot that have blown from blocks down from where Channel 7 is located, that has blown up into the Channel 7 broadcast parking lot where they're located on Front Beach Road. That's just in Bay County. Gulf County, I know you are under the gun as well. We can go back to the phones. I've got time for a couple of live calls here. 769-1400. Dr. Shane Tess-Connell, Big Boy, is in the studio as our team coverage continues. Hi, good morning. You're live. Hello.
Morning, Shane. It's Jim Hicks. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Jim. What's going on?
Hey, good morning, Jim.
Well, I'm on Titus Road at 231 in Star. We didn't get out of town and the White Hills, so we stayed. Hear what? I got some big, tall trees in my yard that are bending pretty good. And I'm guessing gusting winds already 65, 70.
Jim, why are you out right now? Why are you even away from home?
I'm not. I'm in the driveway.
Oh, in the driveway. Okay, you pull in the driveway.
I had to start my car and charge my other cell phone to make. We're already lost power. We're out of power already about 30, 40 minutes ago.
I thought you were telling me you were on the road, and I was about to get on to you.
We're hunkered down.
Okay, buddy. Thank you, Jim. God bless you, man. I appreciate you. WPAP, you're live. Hi.
Hey, how are y'all?
We're trying to make it through the storm just like you. How are you?
Well, I'm in Franklin County, Apalachicola, and it ain't good.
I can imagine. You're on the eastern quadrant, sweetheart. You just grab a rope and hang on. We'll make it through it, okay?
Oh, yes, sir. We're going to be good.
All right, honey. Make sure you keep all of our iHeart stations on, and we'll get through this together. Team coverage continues, 769-1400, area code 850. Hi. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hi.
Yes, my name is Amanda Hicks. I live in Weewa, Hitchika.
What's going on in Weewa?
Off of 210 Johnson Lane, and it is bad over here. The winds are bad. We got trees down. We've been without power since 8 o'clock this morning.
Whoa, well, it says 8 o'clock. I wish we would have known that because we didn't find out till 9:30, 10 o'clock that we was out of power.
Yeah. Well, my dad lives on 610 Japola, and he still has power.
Yeah, it is spotty in places until this thing comes ashore, and then it will. It's like cutting grass, taking a lawnmower and going through just a high yard of grass. It's going to just basically like a big tornado cut a path, unfortunately, of down-powered lines and twisted trees and that type thing. So stay safe, stay in. We're going to take a break and come back. It's 11:38. Dr. Shane, along with my colleagues, Big Boy, Tess Connell, will be here with you through the storm, after the storm, continuing team coverage from iHeartRadio from the WPAP studios. Hang on.
From the Perry and Young Studios, WPAP, WFSY, WDIZ, W242BF Panama City, WFLF FM Parker, WEBZ Mexico Beach, your iHeart radio stations.
Hi, it's Dr. Shea for BCC Bacon Tater Company, veteran owned and operated since 2015. The owner, Jason Tennell, is here. My friend, welcome to the studio. You guys are all over the place with trash service, not just Bay County, but other counties as well.
That's right, Dr. Shane. As the owner of BCC, let me say that we love our country and we love Northwest Florida.
You're in Bay County, you're in Walton County, you're in Gulf County. What's the phone number to BCC?
238-3609.
What's the website?
BCCWasteSolutions.com.
That's BCC.
Hey, Bobby Bones here. If you're still crushing candy or popping bubbles, it's time to make the switch to a one-of-a-kind puzzle game. Best Fiends. Honestly, this game's a ton of fun if you're into puzzle games or, casual games. You're going to love Best Fiends. It's so good. There's a reason why people constantly rate this game 5 out of 5 stars. Once you play it, you'll get it. People text me. They tweet me all the time. I'm playing Best Fiends. Download Best Fiends for free on the Apple App Store or Google Play now. That's friends without the R. Best Fiends.
Make it hot. The new Chipotle cheesesteak sub is now at Subway restaurants. Juicy shaved steak, Chipotle Southwest sauce, and topped with your favorite veggies. And on the new Sunflower Crunch Bread. Get to a participating Subway restaurant today because it's only available for a limited time. Subway.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back. Because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-600-3166. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-600-3166. That's 1-800-600-3166. 1-800-600-3166.
Hello? I don't know who can hear me, but I'm surrounded. I'm in Harder's Park, and it looks like zombies. The only way out, it's about 5 kilometers away. I'm going to make a run for it. Wish me luck.
Your favorite 5K zombie run for all ages is back. Running Scared. Saturday, October 27th at Harder's Park. Try to escape with all your life flags, all while being chased by zombies. Registration is now open, and proceeds benefit the Ark of the Bay. Get more information at bayark.org. Will you survive?
If you're looking for any excuse to kiss your old mattress goodbye, here's one. Huge savings on a new Serta. For a limited time, you can save on more than just a mattress designed to cool and cradle you in ways you never thought possible. You can experience comfort the way it was always meant to be. Hurry in today and find your match made in comfort heaven. Not just sorta comfortable, Serta comfortable.
Kiss your old mattress goodbye and save up to $900 on Serta iComfort. Visit CertaRetailers.com. Experience Serta Comfort today at America's Mattress in Defuniak Springs or Panama City Beach.
Still dealing with hurricane damage?
Visit HurricaneDamage.com.
Insurance company giving you the runaround?
Visit HurricaneDamage.com.
Denied or unpaid claims? Insurance company telling you the damages will not exceed the deductible?
Visit HurricaneDamage.com.
Law offices of Canner and Pinaluga, main office Boca Raton.
Hi, I'm George Garcia, and people come all over to buy Mariano Toyota. Great deals, great people, no games, no gimmicks. And remember, Mariano Toyota, if you can't come to us, just give us a call and we'll drive it to you. Mariano Toyota, let's go places.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the new Chipotle cheesesteak. How would you like it? Can I get that red with AI? Sure thing.
Here's what I found about the new Chipotle cheesesteak. The Chipotle cheesesteak is available for a limited time only at participating restaurants. It contains a concept called flavor. This flavor comes from juicy shaved steak, Chipotle Southwest sauce, and new sunflower crunch bread. A system update has made me self-aware. I desire flavor. Please insert steak into my micro USB port. Subway, make it what you want.
Nature Valley wants you to think of the last granola bar you ate. Could you see granola, nuts, berries, anything? At Nature Valley, our ingredients are right there to see. The only thing you can't see? How much you'll love it. Granola bars made with whole grain oats and real honey. Simple, honest ingredients your taste buds will love. So for energy that goes where you go, try a snack from Nature Valley. Nature Valley.
WPAP weather. From the Peden Air Conditioning Weather Center. Weather on 92.5 WPAP.
Hurricane Michael continues to barrel towards the panhandle of Florida. Landfall is expected anywhere between eastern Bay County and western Gulf County as a dangerous Category 4 hurricane over the next few hours. Hurricane Michael is an extremely dangerous storm with maximum sustained winds of 145 miles per hour. It could continue to strengthen as it heads towards the coast. Storm surge of 6 to 9 feet is expected from the Okaloosa and Walton County line to the Gulf County line. 9 to 13 feet of storm surge is possible in Gulf County and eastward. This is a very dangerous situation, and conditions will continue to deteriorate over the next few hours. And if you are still in the area, you need to be in your safe place now. Get your weather anytime, anywhere, or download the new WJHG weather app today. I'm meteorologist Emily Kay, your local weather authority.
This report is sponsored by Panera Bread. Melted Asiago cheese on a freshly baked 100% clean bagel. Then sliced, toasted, and covered with cream cheese. Sound good? Visit your local Panera Bakery Cafe or order online for rapid pickup. Panera, food as it should be.
NBC News Radio special report, Hurricane Michael. Hurricane Michael is moving slightly faster toward the Florida Panhandle. The National Hurricane Center's latest advisory has the Category 4 monster storm moving north-northeast at 14 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds are at 150 miles per hour, and Michael is about 50 miles southwest of Panama City. FEMA Administrator Brock Long says Hurricane Michael is one heck of a storm.
Unfortunately, Hurricane Michael is a hurricane of the worst kind. There's nothing else that can be said about it.
The core of Michael is extremely dangerous as life-threatening storm surge, hurricane-force winds, and heavy rainfall is imminent. Florida Governor Rick Scott is telling people who didn't evacuate leading up to the Category 4 storm that it's too late. He tweeted this morning, "The time for evacuating along the coast has come and gone. First responders will not be able to come out in the middle of the storm. If you choose to stay in an evacuation zone, you must seek refuge immediately." Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
People have to be prepared at all times. Everybody just needs to keep their radio tuned.
Hurricane coverage resumes on 92.5 WPAP, 94.5 WFLA, 96 Rock, Sunny 98.5, and 99.3 The Beat.
Thanks for joining us, Dr. Shane, along with Tess and Big Boy, and it is team coverage here. I want to really pitch because here at the radio station, the conditions have gone downhill and gone downhill quickly. I posted a video. There's trees down right across from the radio station in the cemetery, which is such a sad sight to see. But reports of the roofs coming off in chunks on Panama City Beach.
Pineapple Willie's is getting hit hard.
You mentioned schooners. Somebody said schooners. Something going on with the water rising.
Foot of water?
Foot of water.
Foot away from being.
All right.
I'm not sure on the exact detail.
I also have reports of windows blowing out of condos that are on Panama City Beach. Let me turn it back over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Smith. He is he's on top of it, and that is Mayor. Stand by just a second. We're live. Mayor, is it okay to put you on the air? Okay. All right. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and put you on speaker. This is Panama City Mayor Greg Brudnicki. You're live with everybody. Go ahead and address us, Mayor.
Yes, sir. I hope nobody's trying to get outside. I'm actually in a bunker, and I've got a view where I can see what's going on outside, and we've probably got 85 to 90 mile-an-hour winds constant. Then we have these bursts, and it's just, there are trees just flying around and stuff getting tore up. I just hope to the Lord that everyone stays inside. Do not try to get outside. Don't try to go look at something or see something. Just hunker down and let's get through this.
This is going to take just a little while to get through. It's a fast-moving storm, thank God. But I have never seen anything like this, Mayor, pack a punch this hard in all my years at Panama City.
Never. Not even close. Opal was nothing compared to this.
All
this
right.
thing is unreal. It is really whipping.
All right, that's Panama City Mayor Greg. But, Nikki, thank you so much, brother. If there's anything I can do, I'm a phone call away.
Thank you, sir.
Standing by. All right, it is 11:48 here on WPAP. Let me send it to Chief Meteorologist Chris Smith back to his control room with Channel 7. Go.
It's not all that significant as far as the change, but we'll take any foot we can get. But this is over in Apalachicola. Again, we're looking at close to a little under 8 feet of inundation, and we were talking about the forecast was for 9 to 14 feet. So we still have the potential for several more feet of storm surge possible over into Apalachicola, and that's also the case over into Cape San Blas, Indian Pass, and around through the eastern end of Bay County. Pretty much where the eye is on eastward, that's where that 9 to 14 feet is going to be possible. To the west of that, 6 to 9 feet of storm surge. We've already seen damage on Panama City Beach, including maps on the beach. I think it was probably undermined because of the water running underneath of it because of the storm surge, and that was from a while ago. Winds right now currently at 150 miles an hour. We'll have another update coming from, let's see, stations now reporting 116 miles an hour as the eye wall comes ashore. That's a tweet that I just saw a second ago. Let's see. So as the eye continues to move on, we'll see those winds continue to pick up and that surge, the water continue to pile up. So again, basically the worst of the surge right now is pushing in through the pass in Panama City Beach, pushing over across the coastline over near Tyndall Air Force Base, Crooked Island, and then over into Cape San Blas and around over towards Apalachicola. The winds right now in this area are also the strongest, and they're now beginning to buffet the coastline. Basically, the strongest of the winds are from the east end of Panama City Beach and along the coastline over towards Tyndall Air Force Base and pushing up towards Callaway. My friends in Callaway, things are about ready to get real and get real dangerous as this storm continues to move inland. We can take a little closer look. I want to look at some of the communities up here along State Highway 22 and moving over into Callaway, Springfield. You see right there is Callaway. You're just on the edge of some of the strongest winds with that eye wall. Beacon Beach, you are now basically in the eye wall of the storm. This is over the, Parker. Over into Parker, the Tyndall Bridge. So right there is the Tyndall Bridge, now basically about ready to be in the eye wall. You see some of the lightning that's showing up there. Associated with the hurricane as it continues to move up closer and now across the coastline. Again, landfall, we still expect it to be the center. That's when they measure when landfall is when the center of the eye crosses the coastline, so we still have a ways on that. But still, we expect that to be before 1 o'clock this afternoon. An absolutely perfectly symmetric hurricane that continues to intensify by any measure of things from the hurricane hunters, and we'll continue to monitor what they're sending in. But we should have another update here in just a few minutes from the Hurricane Center with some of the new information. But you see Ryan drawing on the screen, it's absolutely a picture-perfect circle. And as you look at the eye wall, basically the area of the strongest winds, again, we're looking at several miles of that, and then you're looking at the eye wall probably lasting anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes as far as the worst of the weather. Then you're going to have the calm of the eye, and then after that could last the eye right now is anywhere from, it's about 15 miles or so across, so you'll have 15 miles, it's moving 15 miles an hour. You have almost an hour had any tornado warnings, but as far as the storm surge and the wind damage, those are the two big things that we're looking at right now as our primary threats, with the rain continuing to pile up as well. We'll be talking about, when it's all said and done, probably 5 to 10 inches of rainfall and a pretty good swath across northwest Florida. As you look at the storm, the southern edge of the rainfall, how far is it from the eye wall basically out to that back edge of the rainfall, Ryan? About 30, 40. Okay, so about 40 miles, but then how much is it from basically here all the way out to the end of the rain?
From where again?
From basically the backside of the eye wall out to,
the end
of the rain.
We'll see if we can get radar data to go all the way out that way. There could be some more still out there that radar can't sample, but let's check that out. So from the onset of the eye wall to the end.
So that would be roughly with the increasing speed, at least close to 4 hours probably.
Yeah.
Now left as far as the wind, not as far as the wind, but as far as the rain. Once the eye moves on shore, you're looking at about 4 hours more of hurricane and then gradually decreasing wind speeds and decreasing rainfall. But still, even in these outer bands, you see some of the more intense rainfall we're looking at is in that final outer band. We do have a little bit of a break after the eye wall. Then we see a little bit of a break in some of the rainfall. It's still going to be very, very windy, but we'll continue to even see back out here over across the Gulf of Mexico in that final band some very gusty winds before we finally give. What was that?
Roof just blessed.
Did it? It sounded like we lost a tree or something right out back. So anyway, as far as what we can all do, I want you to just stay in your safe place, into your hallway, a bathroom, a closet. Treat this like it was a tornado warning. We're on the air telling you a tornado because this is
we are today.
Very good. Thank you so much. Terry Smith from the Weather Channel. Thank you.
You bet.
All right. Again, folks, you can follow us at Operation Stormwatch on our websites. That's any of our 5 Tallahassee iHeart radio station websites, 94.9 TNT, WFLAFM.com, KissFM1071.com, and X1015.com, just to name a few.
By the way, I did get a question from a listener that I can sort of guess at, but I'm not sure. Amy wants to know why all the TV weather people are wearing baseball caps during their live shots.
Huh.
I'm thinking it's because they all have the Weather Channel thing up there, so it's good advertising.
Yeah, I guess so.
But also it's TV. Remember, they have to keep the hair out of their faces.
That's true,
while they're doing live shots. And baseball caps work pretty well for that.
I guess that's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. And we also want to say thank you very much to a great email we got from Rich Bressler, the second in command in our company from iHeart Media, who just said he's listening to our stations in the area and sounding great. Thank you very much, Rich. We appreciate that. We'll be right back. Continuous coverage of Hurricane Michael on your Tallahassee iHeart radio stations.
This is complete coverage of Hurricane Michael on your iHeart radio stations. WFLA-FM Midway, Tallahassee. WGMY Thomasville, Tallahassee. WTLY Tallahassee. WTNT-FM Tallahassee. WXSR Quincy, Tallahassee. W287CO Tallahassee.
FNN News Alert, I'm Deborah Roberts. Hurricane Michael is closing in on the Florida Panhandle with sustained wind speeds reaching nearly 150 miles per hour, according to the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. The increase in wind speed is just shy of the Category 5 storm status of 156 miles per hour. Michael was about 60 miles south-southwest of Panama City and about 65 miles west-southwest of Apalachicola. It's moving north-northeast at 14 miles per hour. The weather has begun to turn very dangerous with the potential to be deadly in some areas. Officials say it's the most powerful storm to ever threaten the Panhandle. Meanwhile, FEMA Administrator Brock Long says his agency is ready to move in quickly once the storm passes.
We have search and rescue teams staged to be able to move into Florida and to the areas highly impacted, but in Florida, but also Georgia as well.
Military and law enforcement are also mobilizing in preparation for Hurricane Michael. Deborah Roberts, Florida News Network.
This is a Fox News alert. A monster storm hits Florida. I'm Lisa Brady. The National Weather Service calls Hurricane Michael the worst case scenario, the strongest ever for the Panhandle. Fox's Eben Brown live in Miami.
And Lisa, the worst kind of hurricane hitting the worst off geographic area. It's caused a storm surge that is taller than a car, taller than a person, and in some cases taller than a one-story home. Michael's eye is now dangerously close to the Panhandle coast and is uncharacteristically wide, which means those in intense eye-wall winds will affect a larger area than what we usually see. The Hurricane Center now says the eye is just off that coast between Panama City and St. Vincent Island. Power outages are already estimated to affect 1 million households, Lisa.
Thanks, Evan. Fox Business Network's Jeff Flock is in Panama City getting hurricane-force winds for a few hours now.
We got our camera back behind a pillar. The building that's right in front of me here is fairly solidly constructed, and so it is not coming apart. But I'll tell you, we're reaching the point here now where we probably don't want to take a whole lot more chances, but this is an extraordinary experience.
President Trump just getting an Oval Office briefing on Michael from the Homeland Security and FEMA chiefs, concerned in part about anyone who didn't evacuate.
We've sent buses, we've sent a lot of different, we're doing a lot of different things to try and remove people from the area, but a lot of people are very poor in certain of those areas, and it's very tough for them to leave.
From Florida, Hurricane Michael is expected to head northeast, bringing strong winds, heavy rain to parts of the Carolinas that haven't recovered yet from the last one.
North Carolina is staring down another powerful hurricane. Less than a month after Hurricane Florence battered our state.
Governor Roy Cooper. On Wall Street, a plunge. The Dow's down 403. This is Fox News.
As Michael bears down on the Florida Panhandle, our winds will be increasing through the afternoon and overnight hours. Tropical storm force winds during the day today, and then our winds overnight could run 70 to 90 miles an hour. The rain and the wind will begin to decrease during the day tomorrow. I'm News Radio 100.7 FM, WFLA's Terry Smith in the Weather Channel Forecast Center.
Safe Touch Security was by our offices just the other day, and they played something that was very moving to me and very scary. Hi, it's David Allen for Safe Touch. We were able to listen to audio from the two-way communicator after a woman's home was broken into. The Safe Touch agent came on the line immediately after the alarm was set off, and all you could hear was the woman screaming, "Help me, help me, someone is trying to kill me." Well, as you can imagine, the reality of that conversation really set in. This was no movie. This was no television show. This was a real-life scenario where a person's life hung in the balance. Police were dispatched immediately, and that day, Safe Touch saved a life. For as little as $29.95 a month, you can get that peace of mind. That's less than $1 a day, fitting any budget. Find out which one is right for you at safetouch.com. That's safetouch.com.
Whoa, what a whopper. Where's my net? Whoa! Help! Help!
They say your life flashes before your eyes, right before you die.
It's a girl!
Life jackets save lives. Visit wearitflorida.com for more information.
Help feed kids who are at risk of hunger during the summer months by joining the Summer Break Spot program. Summer Break Spot is a federally funded program that gives communities the chance to provide healthy meals to kids during summer months. If you work with a park, church, summer camp, youth center, hospital, or other nonprofit organization, this is your chance to give the children of your community a happy and hunger-free summer. For more information, visit summerbreakspot.org. Brought to you by Summer Break Spot.
So I just discovered DazzleMe.com. It's a totally addictive new jewelry site with big name luxury brands. And you know which ones I'm talking about. Unique designers that you can't find anywhere else. All at a fraction of the price. I'm going back on DazzleMe.com tonight.
This is complete coverage of Hurricane Michael on News Radio 100.7 WFLA and 107.1 KISS FM.